So I've been planning this one for a long time, guys. It's really has been for a while. So finally, I'm getting around to it. But you know what? I also have kind of a special surprise for you. So I want to talk about our pets. Our pets are very special. Many of us have names for them, and that means something. It's very important. So a lot of us also don't know the birth date of our pets. I don't. I mean, they told me it was the beginning of August. They really didn't know. So the name is what I go by. So the more I contemplated this, the more I thought, well, we could do, and I've been doing this for years, but we could do a chart and do the birth name on it. So here we go. There's the chart. Take a picture, guys. This is also in the reference video, but it's 1 through 9, which is what numerology boils down to. And there's the letters of the alphabet all underneath that. So each letter represents the number on the top that it corresponds to. Okay, so that's exciting. Um, Did you ever wonder about your pet's personality? So sometimes you can tell this. In fact, I've never not been able to get some information about the pet through the numbers that make up the pet's name. How fascinating is that? Let me show you how the numbers in your pet's name and its final calculation gives you a lot of insight. So, hey everybody, welcome. Welcome to Numerology with Lori. Please like and subscribe and click the bell icon to all because, well, one of the main things is that we don't want YouTube to tell you which videos you can or cannot watch. So I'm an authority person. Don't like it. Anyway, if you're interested in a reading, please contact me. You can either go through my website at loriintuitivenumerologist.com. That's LORIINTUITIVENUMEROLOGIST.com. That's long, isn't it? Hey, you can always email me at lmanningbolis37@gmail.com. That's the email that the form on the website goes to. So whatever works best for you. Okay, so let's talk about the very first animal, and I'm going to I put that on another screen. So you can shot these if you want to. The first dog is Tippy, and Tippy can be found right here at rchumanesociety.org. Now, this happens to be in, let me see, Ensenadas, California. I'm so sorry. I'm from the East Coast, so the West Coast is really foreign to me. But it's Encinati. I think it's Ensenadas, California. It's at 389 Riqueza Street, and you can email them at info@rchumanesociety.org. So if you email them, they'll tell you about Tippy. So, oh, and one more thing that I have here. So I also have their phone number. This could be something that you want to call about. It's 760-753-6413. Okay. The Rancho Coastal Humane Society. Really pretty fascinating. Anyway, the first dog that they have, and they have quite a few, and Tippy happens to be a dog that's been there for about 5 years. So if you have time to even go see Tippy, take Tippy for a walk. See what makes Tippy so special because apparently this is one intelligent little doggy because she went through all of the training that they have. She graduated with honors, and I think she's like the valedictorian or whatever. I'm not sure. I don't have the website pulled up, but that's pretty amazing. And Tippy reminds me, oh, there used to be a show, and it was before my time even, but it wasn't long before. The Little Rascals, and there was a dog with a dark spot over its eye, just like you'll see on Tippy's photo. And it just reminds me of that dog. But anyway, so Tippy, as we can see here, is Tippy. So the dog has the T stands for a 2, the I for a 9, the P, and the Y all stand for 7, which is fascinating. When you add them all together, so I added them all up and I got a 32, which the 32 equals 5. So we know basically that Tippy is a very freedom-loving animal, loves her freedom, loves the changes that happen around her, loves adventure. Oh my gosh. So let me read you what I wrote about Tippy. So this is a pet that seems to latch on to one person, though she gets along with everybody. That's really important. So, I mean, yeah, it's easy to say that, but you can see that in the numbers. The numbers start with a 2, which tells me that this is a dog that likes one person in the family. They specifically do. But you see that number 3 there in the beginning of the formula? That number 3 tells me that Tibby gets along with everybody, which is really good. I mean, it's true of a lot of dogs, but not all dogs, as we know. And Tippy has that in her formula, in her name. So, let's see. Okay, so, oh, she is a household pet. Absolutely. But she gets along best with one person in the house, and that's very true. No matter where she is. Like, so she's right now at oh my gosh, the Humane Society. Gosh. So the good news is that there's one person there that she probably likes more than everybody else, even though she gets along with everybody in the shelter. She specifically gets along like this one person comes to see her every day, make sure that she has her food, will, just take care of everything for her. That's what is in her numbers. So let's see. Tippy has experienced profound endings and may do so again. And the reason that we know that is because there's a 9 second place in her name. So it doesn't mean that she goes through endings all the time. And it's true for a lot of pets that they do go through some endings. But it's important to know how a dog responds to that. So she is also a terrific learner and she's an intelligent dog. So let me just go back real quickly to the idea that she experiences the endings. Um, the 9 is representative of letting go what doesn't serve you, but it's also representative of endings, not necessarily beginnings. With that in mind, Tippy can experience some endings in her life. And it seems to me that we don't know what her backstory is. And I'm sure that they would tell you if you called. We don't know what her backstory is. We just know that she's waiting for her new beginning. She's been there for 5 years waiting. And luckily, they have taken her through every training that they can take her through. She's ready for you. She's ready for you. She's also a terrific learner and she's an intelligent pup. That's for sure. She has a very strong need for open ground to run in. That's the freedom part for her, um, for freedom, and she's adaptable to change. So that's a really important thing for any animal, but specifically the animal that you're going to get, Tippy, because because of the way she is adaptable to all things. Like let's say, for instance, you live in the north of Pennsylvania. And you see Tippy's picture and you see, oh my gosh, I really want that dog. Well, that dog is very adaptable to the idea of coming from California and being flown over here to Pennsylvania. Just very, very in tune with that. Very adaptable. So that's good news. That's really good news. So she loves new adventures. That's awesome. I love that. So she's a sweet girl with tons of love for the right family. Even though she gets along with other dogs, she is best suited to be the solo pet in your home. So if you have a room in your heart and you think that Tippy would work for you and your family, let me know. Or call the RC, the 760-753-6413. That is in Ensenadas, California. It or reach out to them at info@rchumanesociety.org. That's the email. Okay. So that's your surprise for the day. So let's just talk about a few other names while we're at it. So my dog's name is very special, I think. She's a sweet girl. Her name is Rhea. My daughter named her. She's named after a goddess, which I just love. And I've always spelt it with the A first. So it's Rhae. That's just me, you know? But it doesn't matter. Even if the E was first, it really doesn't matter a lot to the end result. Where it does matter is the placement of the letters. You know, this the closer this the so the first letter is an R. That's the nine. That's more indicative of where this pet has been. Very, very indicative. The last one is it's there and it influences, but it's not near as much of an influence as the first letter, which is the R, except for the fact that all of these letters, and let's see if I can show you, all of these letters, there they are there, 9 plus 8 plus 1 plus 5. So that's the number that corresponds to the letter. And let's face it, we have to calculate the number because that's what we add up to get to this formula, right? And that's what we add up to get to this life path or this path for this is for Rhea's name um path, so to speak. So all of these letters add up to 23, and the 2 plus 3 equals 5. So her number is a 5. This is Rhea's number. So the thing about it is this is a pet that enjoys the company of one person, specifically me. And she does. Although I got to tell you and I see this often with pets because there's a lot of times where they have like a 5 number and or a 3 number or a 2, going on. So because her number adds up to 23, she's got a special connection with her owner, which is me. Okay. Now, I'm going to tell you a story. When I just recently, and a lot of you know, I had the surgeries on my hip and I had to go away to a Shenandoah, which is like a rehab. They do that after surgery sometime. And I didn't know what I was going to do with Rhea. So thankfully, my son and his 4 children, they kept Rhea. Now, she's wasn't, and they also have another pet, which Rhea turns out to be very good with other pets, really good with other dogs. Cats, not so much. She chases them. She thinks they're fun. But other dogs, she's really good about. Um, but anyway, I was afraid that she would forget about me, that she would come back here and be like, I want to go back to my Nathan's, you know? And she loved Nathan and she loves all the kids and she loved Gonzo. But when she came home, mm, I'm just gonna get in, like cry about it. And I'm not gonna. She just fell into her rhythm and she was so happy to be with me again and here in her regular surroundings. It was pretty wonderful. It was pretty wonderful. So yeah, I'm sure, like again, because her name begins with R, she's used to the endings. She it's as if her name attracts endings. And I'm going to tell you another story about Rhea. When she was a pup, before I rescued her, she and her sister were siblings, and they were somehow lost. I don't know what happened, whether it was a hurricane. I'm not sure what happened, but I know that they were out in the open without anybody to take care of them. And Ray was the runt, and her sister took care of her. That was a sort of ending, if you will. Whatever, wherever they started out, ended for them, and they had to take care of themselves. And the person that the rescue shelter that I contracted with, they are the ones that saved her from, and she was born down south. So this was in Pennsylvania. I saw her on a website and was like, oh my gosh, that is my dog. I have to have her. So mm, and I was not thinking about getting a dog. So I don't know. So this is a pet, again, that enjoys the company of one person specifically, but loves people in general. And she does, as long as I'm with her. If I'm with her, she's okay about meeting the neighbor with the other dogs, and she loves the neighbor as well as she loves the dogs. And there's several neighbors around here that have dogs, and she loves them all. She just loves to meet people. Now, I will say she's especially better with women than she is with men. Don't hmm, maybe that's the 23 because the two is more feminine energy, and it begins with the two. Um, yeah, that's interesting. I'm gonna have to take a look at that. So anyway, she's used to letting go of what doesn't serve. Yep, but loves her person no matter where she is. And I've already told you that story about the surgery and the rehab. Oh my gosh. That killed me. Her attitude is fully in control of herself. Oh yeah. And here's another example. I'm sorry, this is my pet, so I'm going to tell you. When we'll go out sometimes outside just to walk or to go to the bathroom, whatever it is. I mean, if she's busy doing smelling the grass or whatever it is she does, it's like, I'm sorry, I'm not moving until I'm done. And that's my dog. And that I want to say has a lot to do with that second number, which is the eight. So it's sort of a power and control number, but doggy style, if you will. So it's like I'm in charge of myself here. I'm giving you the reins. You're okay. I love you, but I don't know. Interesting, isn't it? So let's see. She's sort of a lead she's a leader dog. She can be, although she's easy to give it up for other dogs as well. If another dog wants to be the leader, she's like, that's fine. Go ahead. I'll follow you. And so she's easy either way. But she's always friendly and loving of the people that are around her. And that's very, very true. Very true. So, and the rest of the letters, so the RH, so the one is this is the leader. She's driven to lead. And she does do that. She does do that, but she's also easy enough to just say, I'll let you think you're the leader. Yep, that's her. And of course, that E, that five, that last letter corresponds with the five that's in her name. So it makes her a little bit more freedom oriented, change oriented, and she's big on having had changes. She again, I told you her first experience with her sister. We adopted her, so that was change number two. So now she's living in my house with me when I lived a little bit further north. Then we sold that house and moved to Florida to be with my brother. I was there for a year, not very long. I've got five going on too in my pinnacle, so I'm used to this. So luckily, I paired up with a dog that is also used to it. And there's another five. So then we came back. She drove with me the whole way. No problem. She loves it. She loves driving, looks out the window some, chills out, takes a rest, whatever. She loves it. I was very worried about it. Um, and then when we came back, we bought a home here where I live now in the condo. And this is again another change for her. And then, of course, I went through all these operations and she lived with my son. So been a lot of changes in this little puppy's life, but she's been very good about it. Yeah. Okay, so let's go on with the next dog. The next dog is named Phoebe. So I'm not sure if anybody of you have a Phoebe, so listen up if you do. Phoebe is corresponds to 782. Oh, no, I'm sorry, 6525. So that's interesting. There's actually two fives that make up her name. They all add across to 33. And 33 equals 6, but keep in mind that 33 is the number we're going to focus on because it's a master number and it is a number that's probably more indicative of who she is. Now, keep in mind that 3 plus 3 equals 6, and we saw that on the board. We saw the 6 there. That's a family number. So Phoebe is a family dog. She's very much oriented towards family. Okay, so let me tell you about Phoebe, what I know. 33 is a master number, and we have talked about this before. And this is in the master number reference video in the video section of my channel. So she's a high energy pup. And mostly that's because of that master number. It's not as high energy if as if she had, say, an 11. 11s are very, very high energy. But a 33 still can be high energy. And the 33s are indicative of, I think I have it in here, but they're also indicative of because of where the threes are. They're placed. One is placed positively, and the other can be somewhat negative. It's nudgy, let's say. So she's a high energy pup. Phoebe is very expressive, and that's really the threes. She's affectionate and she's family oriented. So when I say expressive, she might make noises. She might do that. My pet does that, but I don't know. I think she also likes to bark. If she sees a squirrel outside, she'll bark. If she hears a knock on the door, she'll bark. I gotta let you know, she'll say. Mm-hmm. Who knows? Anyway, she's a sweet girl and she very much loves her family, her owners. I mean, that what more could you ask for? She can be a bit doggy controlling. So again, that's in the name, the 8. And it's also part of the master number energy. Now, Phoebe has a 7, and I don't know if I addressed this. The thing about the beginning with a 7 is she can also be a little bit on the isolated side occasionally. And it doesn't mean that it's a bad thing. It means that sometimes she just needs to be on her own. She needs to be away from everybody, which is good that she knows that. It's really good that she knows that. So she might need to be the only pet. So that could be because of the 7 and the 8 and that 33-6. So she could be a little bit nervous. Now, it doesn't mean that she won't live in a household with other pets. It does not. It just means that if you want the best of her, you're going to live with her alone. That you're going to see more of this dog's real energy and real personality as an only dog. So, her nature is loving and nurturing. She tries to make everyone happy with her playful ways, and she does do that. She does. She enjoys different types of activities or places. A change of scenery. Loves that. That's all part of that 33 number, and it's also part of those two fives that are in there. So even though that last five is sort of almost non-existent, she does enjoy that. She really enjoys being having new scenery. And I think we mentioned that, a change of scenery. Maybe the beach, a walk in a new park. It could even be a hiking trail. She loves it all. If, especially as a young little Phoebe, you know. But as she gets older, she might be more i- i- inclined to relax a little bit more. She might be inclined to that. Where she's also maybe going to revert more to her six instead of the 33. So that's important to know. There are times when she just wants to relax. She gets um oh, I don't know what this word is. She gets tired after an active day. Sorry, I wrote over it, so I sometimes I know it and sometimes I don't. She gets very tired though after an active day, which is okay. So do I. I'm sure you do. I'm sure our children do. But she's always ready for fun when someone wants to play. How about that? Yep. She likes a harmonious home and she enjoys bright, colorful toys. That's just the way she is. It's not the most, it's not even that they don't make toys bright and colorful, but some dogs don't like what she does is gravitate towards the brighter and the more colorful, the better, as far as she's concerned. Maybe she can see them better. I'm not sure, but she is attracted to those. She has intuitive abilities. Now that's indicative of the 33. Where is she? The 33. And it's also part of what the 7 is about, that intuitive nature. There is yeah, I think that's oh, and there's another 6. So yeah, it's something to be now, of course, her intuitive abilities could be something like knowing when one of your children is in trouble out by the pool or something like to that effect and racing towards them to save them. That kind of a thing. That's what you can expect from a dog like Phoebe. When her family needs her, she seems to just know. And we just talked about that. So that's true. It can really make you think twice. Yep, it really can. Okay, so I have one more animal name for you, and this one is from a friend. Actually, I know that there are other dogs with this name, so it's Marley, Marley. So the letters go to 419357. All of these numbers are corresponded to the letters, and that is here. Remember? We had the chart for you, the 1 through 9, and then each letter that corresponds to that number. Okay. So the thing about that is that this adds all the way across to 29. The 2 plus 9 equals 11. So that's the number we're going to talk about today, although she can actually work the 2 as well. So even though this number is a master number, sometimes that energy gets to be too much. Even a person, it's too much. And they have to resort or start working from the 2 level. That's very possible. So Marley is a master number. 11 is a master number, and Marley is real high energy. So we kind of touched on this when we were talking about Phoebe and the master energy for 33. 11 is very high energy. So you want to talk a barker? Marley is probably a barker. Again, it's not that that's all she ever does, but she is the type of dog that if somebody comes to the front door, she's going to bark. If there's a squirrel outside, she's going to bark. So keep that in mind when don't yell at Marley because she's barking. It's part of her energy. It is part of her energy. She can also be a little on the submissive side, which is interesting. Usually, she's not an alpha dog. Now, the reason why we know this is because of the two energy. So now the 11 is the master energy, but when you break it down, 1 plus 1 equals 2. That's relationship energy. It's again, it's another person in her life. Okay. Yeah. So all right, where is it? She's a little submissive. Okay, she's usually not an alpha, but her creative and independent nature gives her an active, sometimes hyper edge. So we already talked about that activity, that energy. She may have some hyperness. Is she going to be that way always? I don't know. I don't know. I don't think so. I think as she'll get older, she'll kind of grow into it some. But keep in mind that's Marley's energy. And you'll know that from a puppy. When she comes up to you and she is and licking you all over, you know that this dog is high energy, probably. So, if that's something you can't help but love her, she's a wonderful dog. So let's see. She has to be trained to slow down after an active day, and that's very true. So you might have to train her how to stay in one place and to accept a treat and to lay down, that sort of thing. So that's important. As she ages, she'll probably be less hyper. We just talked about that. Mhm. But she'll be active in her way. So she might be wagging her tail, she might be wanting to go outside on a porch or something like that. I mean, she's going to be active in her own way, but not in a way she is when she's between that age of puppyhood until she's about 2. After that, she'll start to calm down some. So Marley enjoys one person or being intensely with a person or another family pet, which to me tells me that Marley is really good with another family pet. She is. She enjoys their company and she connects strongly with them, the pet or the person, depends on how it gets. Her name's numbers indicate that she may experience some endings or loss. So let's take a look at that. That's the 9 here. And then there's a 9 that's on the inside of the 29. So these nines are they can indicate that she might experience some of those. Anytime there's a 9 in an animal's numbers, you can expect that they might experience some endings and maybe some loss. But that's part of life. She might have a tough time, but she will also bounce back and form new ties. And that's something that she does. She might act eventually like there's nothing going on, but I feel like she might have a little bit of a tough time, but she'll bounce back and then, form new ties to people. So yeah, she's sweet and loyal dog. Her empathic nature gives her a special connection to her family and those she loves. That's wonderful. So maybe this gives you an idea of what's in a pet's name. Mm. So if you would like to reach out to me, feel free. I'm happy to do your pets for you. And I'm happy to read your pet's name. Let's be in touch. Sure. There's also room on my calendar for a reading for you, a consultation for you. And keep in mind, if you want to throw in your pet's name, we can do that as well. That's easy. That's an easy kind of calculation for me to do for you. So you can reach out to my website, like we talked about, LoriIntuitiveNumerologist.com, and also feel free to just email me at Lori, or I'm sorry, L Manning-Bolis, all one, at 37. lmanningbolis37 at gmail.com. So thanks for being here and blessed be, guys. It's been a wonderful time with you.